Alright guys, so today we're going to be showcasing off a new OTK that you're going to be able to pull off because of the new ban list. Putting Morphing Jar number 2 at 3 on the new list was an absolute mistake, and with that new ban list just coming around in just 2 more days, guys, this deck is going to be really dumb to lose to because Morphing Jar number 2 was banned for a reason. We didn't need it to come back, but we're going to be showing you guys different ways to pull off an OTK. There's multiple ways to actually OTK your opponent with this combo. So basically what it really comes down to is controlling one monster which can inflict some type of damage. I know Dice Jar is random, but this is for the mad disrespect of you might be able to actually OTK yourself here. But really what starts off the combo is having any monster that can inflict damage to your opponent, and there are quite a bit. You can actually infinitely draw cards, you can infinitely heal, you could do a lot of different things. There's infinite heals as one win condition, which in that case you'd be winning by time, and then there's also burn, which is the more relevant one, and there is technically kind of a way to deck out. It's a little bit more difficult to pull off because you will have to recycle cards, and it would literally take like an hour to go through everything. But nonetheless, unlucky with Dice Jar, we're going to be taking 6k damage, but that's okay because what we're going to do is infinitely recycle the Morphing Jar number 2 plus any other card that can inflict some type of damage or heal. And then with all out attacks, what happens is if a monster is special summoned while this card is face up on the field, you change that monster to face up attack version and must attack if able during the turn they are special summoned. That effect doesn't really matter. It's just that as soon as they get special summoned, because they get special summoned face down, they're going to flip back face up, and then they're going to activate their flip effects immediately. And so depending on, of course, what you decide to go for, Morphing Jar number 2 will shuffle itself plus the other card back. You can actually happen to have multiple copies of Morphing Jar be summoned by this effect. However, the most important part is you have to have something that actually deals some type of damage or something, but you can only run one copy of it in the entire deck. The reason why is in order for this infinite loot to actually start happening, you actually have to have Morphing Jar summon another copy of Morphing Jar. And when I say Morphing Jar, I mean Morphing Jar number 2. I'm just going to say it for short. But you have to summon another copy of Morphing Jar number 2 plus whatever other card deals the burn damage or the heal. Like I said, there's multiple ways, and I'll get into it in the deck profile. With the amount of infinite draws, we have infinite burn. Yeah, you could be playing a tag duel. More than likely, though, what would honestly happen if you guys played this in real life, your opponent will probably be like, dude, you can win, dude, I don't care. Because this is a really annoying deck to go ahead and face off against. And pretty much the rest of the cards in the deck, because of how the Morphing Jar works, is you're going to keep on excavating those cards, and you're going to basically throw all those cards into the graveyard. Now, there's also another way to technically heal with Maria the Fallen One, which I'll mention. There's a lot of cards that can have technically bonus effects in the graveyard that are spell and trap as well that you can activate. But for the most part, this is all you really want to go ahead and try to actually pull off, is just to have the all-out attacks. And make sure that you are doing this. Sometimes it might be better to do it during your opponent's turn. Sometimes it's better to do it on your turn, depending on what your opponent has, because if they happen to have something that can disrupt your plays, keep that in mind as well, that can happen. So maybe even battle phase, depending on, again, what your opponent is playing, try to utilize that to your advantage here. It's going to take a little bit longer here, but it will be an OTK very soon. Now, the real question is, who is getting OTK'd? Just as a heads up, I would not recommend playing Dice Jar. This is more just for ultimate troll factor here because you can actually rip yourself. But Poison Mummy is probably your best option. There's also Des Koala. There's an infinite heal. In fact, if you technically you can run like Spring of Rebirth, and you can actually burn them through Athena Fairy. There's lots of different ways to pull this off. But Morphing Jar number 2, let me know, guys, if you feel like this card should have stayed banned. I mean, the only time people even play Morphing Jar is to actually pull off basically an OTK. Technically, yeah, you can FTK in it, but it's basically an OTK deck for the most part. But it took a while, but we got it. With 500 life points to spare, it's just an ultimate troll factor. But I just want to say that if you do want to take this deck more seriously, instead of Dice Jar, you would actually want to play Poison Mummy. So Poison Mummy has a flip effect where you get to do 500 burn damage to your opponent. So this is what I would actually recommend if you guys actually want to win. If you just want the ultimate troll deck, Dice Jar is probably your best bet. There's also other ways to pull off other win conditions, depending on what you're trying to do. But because you are excavating, the draw power, infinite draws would probably not be the best idea, considering you will probably deck yourself out depending on the circumstance, and you could be playing some other things. But I just wanted to mention that there are a lot of flip effects that add like a draw one card. There's a lot of other flip effects that can give you draw power. Skelly Angel, some of these are like so old, you probably saw these in like Duelist of the Roses, right? But for the most part, yeah, the best way is actually just Poison Mummy. You can actually have an infinite heal with, let's say, the Mortal Thunder, because this card will never actually hit the graveyard. So what would happen if you want to be the ultimate troll scumbag, you would actually run the Immortal of Thunder, and this would only be more so relevant to real life, where you're actually able to heal up for that set amount. Again, depending on the rules, sometimes you will have certain tournament runners that just go off of how many wins do you have, but if they're doing it like by life points, then yeah, Mortal Thunder, you will be able to infinitely heal up, and because you're still doing something, you're not really stalling, and then you just do this for 40 minutes straight, and then you just say, well, I've got more life than you. Ultimate scumbag. And then, of course, Morphing Jar. You can try to deck your opponent out. It does require you to actually go through the Outstanding Dog Merit and have insane RNG, but there's other cards that you can utilize. Just wanted to mention it, but again, Morphing Jar number 2 is the star here, not Morphing Jar. The Dice Jar is there for troll. But anyways, onwards with the deck profile. So it really comes down to is, of course, 3 copies of Morphing Jar, and then your like win condition. Poison Mummy is the best one, but there are other cards. Des Koala can do burn damage to this. There's probably several other cards. This is just the one that I can think of that like is more consistent, because Des Koala, if they have no cards, well, unlucky RNG. Then we have 1 Day of Peace, 2 copies of the Shallow Grave. That lets you just go ahead and select a monster and then splash someone and face down, but it's going to go ahead and be put instantly face up via this, and then that's how you start your loot combo. Another way, you have 3 copies of Extravagance, because you don't even need the extra deck. Then we have Reasoning over here. Then we have Demise. We have the Upstart Goblin, and of course this is the new ban list, so Demise is at 1, and then this is also at 3, so keep in mind when you see these like awkward numbers here. Then we have Upstart, and we have Swords of Revealing Light, which I honestly think is a little bit too slow of an effect, but sometimes people will let this go on. I would honestly drop this card if I was to make this deck, because again, this is going to get bounced back, destroyed, then you're going to OTK for the most part. I guess you can throw up this and then also set up another card, and then you could be good to go. The reason why I kind of like Swords, though, just as a heads up, is Wabaku, the monster is still technically flipped, and sometimes you want it face down to initiate the combo, so you don't have to have this card as early as you would normally need, if that makes any sense. But then we have 1 copy of the Foolish Burial for, of course, your Shallow Grave plays, and Burst Rebirth. Then we have 2 copies of Mallet. I'd honestly probably bump that up if you want to, because the rest of the cards are kind of like just fodder. And then we have 3 copies of Duality, and then this card doesn't really belong in here. It's just for the new Master Rule. And then 2 copies of Hand Destruction, 3 copies of Catch Copy, which lets you search out your deck for any one specific cards. And we have 3 copies of Wabaku, 3 copies of Threatening Roar, 3 copies of Reckless Greed, 2 copies of Burst Rebirth, and 3 copies of All Out Attacks, which is actually the most important card to actually have in the combo. For the extra deck, literally nothing matters here. But anyways, guys, there it is, the new ban list, a Morphing Jar OTK with the Ultimate Troll Dice Jar, or I would say Poison Mummy is the better card though. But anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I gotta give a big shout out to my boy Tsubasa for running this so fast. I didn't even think about doing it with Dice Jar. Like, Poison Mummy is the better option, but, you know, Morphing Jar number 2 was banned for a reason. But anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like on it. If you're ready for the new ban list, there's going to be a lot more deck profiles here very soon. So if you are new to the channel here and want to see more new Yu-Gi-Oh! 2020 January deck lists and stuff, hit subscribe, turn on the bell, and you'll see more very soon. But thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a good one, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace!